It is all on in the C Space Studio here at CES 2024. I am James Kotecki, and I am joined by Paramount Streaming's Domenic DiMeglio. You are the Executive Vice President, CMO, and Head of Data, and we really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Paramount Streaming, probably most people are familiar with the brand. Can you just toss out a few things within Paramount Streaming that people might be familiar with to kind of anchor us?
Yeah, I mean, so Paramount Streaming, really our free-to-pay ecosystem that we've been building is pillared by Paramount Plus on the pay side and Pluto TV on the free ad-supported streaming side.
And Pluto TV, actually they were a guest, I believe that you acquired Pluto TV a while ago, or?
Yes,
Pluto,
Viacom acquired it a few years back. Yep.
So Pluto TV, actually a former guest here in the C Space Studio. That's a platform where you just kind of, it's almost like it's a linear kind of lean back kind of a model, right?
Absolutely.
Like you just put on a channel of whatever you want.
It's TV the way it should be. It's a guide experience. We drop you in the live. Our users love it because it's easy, it's free, and it's funny too because we're reintroducing audiences or introducing younger audiences to the notion of a guide, and they're like, "What is this? I love it," because they're not used to traditional television.
There's something about I want maybe different kinds of TV experiences, and one of them is turning my brain off and just letting myself relax with whatever's being served up for me on there.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that has been really interesting in being able to sit across free and paid streaming is really being able to dispel the misnomer that there's audiences that are willing to pay for content and there's audiences that only want free ad-supported content. What we found is there's a lot of overlap, and it's really around the experience, the offering itself that's driving audiences, and so we see a lot of cross-pollination between Paramount Plus and Pluto TV.
So let's talk about Paramount Plus for a minute. What are some of the shows within that people probably are most familiar with? We were talking about Star Trek earlier.
Star Trek near and dear, of course, because in our CBS All Access days before we rebranded to Paramount Plus, that and the Good Fight were our sort of launch and flagship originals. But since then, we've had the privilege to be able to expand to the franchises and fandoms and IP that represent all Paramount Global. From SpongeBob, which will be celebrating the 25th anniversary this year, Paw Patrol, Halo, Star Trek Mission Impossible. We've done a lot in the Yellowstone universe, NCIS, etc. Sorry, I could go on for a while on those. Of course,
yeah, that's the point. You have a lot of great content. What message do you have here for folks at CES? What's top of mind for you this year?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's really around talking about how just we've continued to really take share in the marketplace. I think we've surprised a lot of folks over the last few years. That Paramount Plus has been the fastest growing streaming service in the US over each of the last 3 years. Pluto TV is the #1 fast service globally, and so really leaning into that growth and sort of how do we approach 2024 to continue on that. And one of the things that we're really leaning into is how do we connect even more with our audiences. I mean, it really boils down to that audience that we super serve, not just from a streaming perspective, but really in the surround sound and all the ways we try to engage with them.
Can you say a little bit more about that and maybe some examples of what you mean by connecting with your audience in different ways?
Yeah, I mean, I think for one, like we've really always tried to focus on fandoms and the franchises and honor those things. And so I think one is really constantly trying to foster on social. We're doing a lot of more experiential, especially now as we're able to get to more places again. One of the ones that I'm really excited about is Paramount Plus. We launched the Paramount Plus Lodge last year in partnership with Altera. This year we've expanded that partnership. We're taking it to 4 Altera mountains. It's going to come to South by Southwest and Comic-Con, and it's really a place where it's the ski lodge. It feels very on brand for Paramount. And allows us to showcase lots of different IP and have audiences or consumers engage.
So this is a lodge, like a ski lodge building on a ski mountain that people can come to. And is it open to anybody to go
Open to anybody. Okay. You can enjoy some après ski and some music at the end of the day, and we take it on the road. So it's been a lot of fun.
Okay. So tell me about where Paramount Plus stands in terms of advertising, an advertising supported tier. That seems to be the way that most streaming services are going these days. Where are you at with that right now? I
mean, I'd like to say that we were pioneers. I mean, CBS All Access, when we launched in 2014, we launched first with an ad-supported tier, and Pluto TV, has been at it, for equally as long. We've got their 10-year anniversary coming up here real soon.
I mean, maybe you don't want to give your competitors too much information, but are there things that you've learned over that time that you think other people are going to have to maybe learn as they begin to adapt to ad tiers?
Well, I mean, I think for us, it's certainly you have to understand your customer and find and really develop solutions for our advertising partners so that their ads feel relevant to customers. But also, we think if we take a step back and not just advertising, but thinking about the customer journey overall, in the way we engage with the customer from when they're coming to the service for the first time, through that journey, how we're both reaching them with our messaging as well as our advertisers' messaging, and really kind of think about it holistically.
And do you think holistically as far as how the content specifically relates to the story that's being told in the ads? Do you think about ways of interweaving these things in more ways than maybe you have the content and then you have the ad and then you have more content?
I think it's more about finding right ways to get innovative and immersive with our advertising partners. To it's not specific around that piece of creative, but really around their core creative, but then how we make that come to life, both in the service as well as on other platforms.
Are there other entertainment trends that you're thinking about? Any entertainment trends that you're watching right now?
I mean, for me, it's maybe a little old is new, which is the biggest one is our mission is to entertain the planet at Paramount Streaming, and I think for us, is how do we find ways to deepen relationships with customers and continue to find ways to entertain them, this coming year.
Yeah, AI.
Yes.
We got to talk about
Of
AI.
course.
We're here at CES 2024. Can't not talk about
Yeah.
AI. So what are you thinking there? What are some of the ways that you are thinking about planning AI?
Yeah, I think two ways. One of which is, I'd say traditional AI, we've been at it for a decade, right? In just in terms of dynamic creative optimization, building, machine learning models for all of our data and our customer subscriber acquisition and churn risk and all of those things, just in terms of everything around the customer lifecycle. We've really been at it for a long time. Of course, now we think about GenAI. There's two ways I think we're looking at it. One, of course, is how do we think internally in ways we can drive productivity gains, and I think we're already starting to see some benefits of that. And then also how do we apply it to potentially add another dimension to our creative marketing creation process.
Yeah. Are you able to say more about that at this point? Is it still relatively new?
I think it's relatively new.
Yeah.
We're working with a handful of partners to really test with a couple of pieces of IP and franchises, but I'm really excited about what we're going to be able to do.
Yeah. So what can we expect from 2024 as consumers? We're here at the Consumer Electronics. Well, I'm not sure technically that it's called the Consumer Electronics Show anymore. It might just be like KFC.
Did they rename it?
I think it's just like KFC. I think it's CES. But we're here at a show that certainly celebrates a lot of consumer electronics.
Yes.
So from the consumer perspective, do you see a fundamental change from the way that consumers will experience this in the next few years, or is it going to be kind of a gradual kind of evolution over time?
I mean, I think we're going to continue to see innovation. I think we're seeing companies out there trying to innovate. I think the Apple Vision Pro is a great product. I know Meta's got a new product with Ray-Ban, and I think those types of things are going to create new palettes for entertainment brands to be able to create innovative and unique content for those platforms. So I think that'll definitely be something we lean into. We certainly want to be at the forefront.
And are you already able to stream Paramount content within some of the existing VR systems?
Yes, and we will be there for Apple as well.
Yeah. Any other technology that you're thinking about as we head into the next year? Because since we're here at a show that has so many different pieces of gear that you could be maybe putting your stuff into, any other trends that you've got your eye on?
Not from a technology perspective. I mean, I think for us it's just, again,
it seems like you're kind of dialed in.
I think we are. I'd like to think we are.
Yeah, that's great.
So it's then how do we just leverage all of those trends to, again, we always boils down to us to really, nurturing our fans and our fandoms. And so I think that is as we look at new technologies, how do we bring that back? And I think that for me personally, I'm also just really excited. We're here in Vegas. We're going to be back in a few weeks. CBS is the broadcaster of the Super Bowl. It'll stream live in Paramount Plus. We're bringing the Paramount Mountain here, the Paramount Plus Lodge, and it'll be a big weekend for Paramount Plus and Pluto TV.
Yeah, that's really exciting. 2024 will be the year of blank.
Think about that for a moment.
Okay. Sounds like it'll be the year of continuing innovation
I think I think also it'll be a year for a step level increase in just streaming of live sports.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing that. We have embraced it. It's been a huge driver of Paramount Plus back to our CBS All Access days.
I assume it drives signups as well, right?
Absolutely. There's nothing that creates more urgency than wanting to tune in for the game that's on, and so we stream, and we're lucky. We're really lucky. We get to stream things like we have the Super Bowl. We streamed the biggest, the most watched sporting event in the world with the UEFA Champions League final, and so really trying to continue to bring that live experience to customers. And I think we're seeing more in the industry within our competitive set that those events are finding their way on the streaming.
Domenic DiMeglio, Paramount Streaming. Thank you so much for joining us here in the C Space Studio. We really appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me. It was great.
And thank you so much for watching us here in the C Space Studio. I am James Kotecki. We are here at CES 2024. We are sponsored by Integral Ad Science, and we are live on all the CES social channels. That's YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and if you're watching us right now, just don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more great conversations.